Welcome back from that short break. It's still Good Morning Abuja, your favorite breakfast show, and we always ensure that you are entertained on this program, and we discuss trending issues that you definitely want to hear. All right, I have in the studio Esther Olubumi Bello, and she's a baker. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to be talking about how to become a professional cake baker and designer. And you know, the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear of cakes, everybody loves to eat cake, of course, but you know, and I'm like, there are so many cakes, so many designs, so many. How are you able to achieve all of that?
Okay, it boils down on creativity.
Okay.
Yeah. As a cake baker and decorator, you have to be creative because you can get inspired by anything, and then a certain customer might give you a certain prescription that, oh, this is what I want my cake to look like. So you have to come up with an idea and then give them what they want.
Okay. Are there characteristics? Because for every job you do, everyone should have, there are basics that you should know about what you do. So are there basics to baking?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Like, you have to know what you want to do. Because in catering is very vast.
Okay.
And then, like, you have to know, this is my niche, this is what I do and I enjoy. Because I remember then when I was serving, then I used to fry chin-chin and sell as a copper.
Okay.
So one of my copper fellow came around and he saw me frying chin-chin, and then he left and came back again and met me on it, and he was like, "What? You're still on this thing?" I said, "Yes." He said, "What motivates you?" I said, "I love cooking. I love doing something that people will eat." So for you to be a cake maker and decorator, you have to be passionate about what you want to do. That's a very basic thing, because cake baking requires a lot of work. You put in work. So if you're not made up, if your mind is not made up to do the work, you will not be able to proceed with it. So those are the basic. You have to have a passion for it.
Okay.
Then before you now go ahead and say, I want to get better in my skill, and then to become a professional.
Okay. I love that little story you gave while trying to answer the question. So maybe I should ask you, what motivated you into cake baking and designing? Because for everything you have a backstory.
Yes. Okay, for me personally, just like I said, I love making things that people will eat. It gives me joy.
Okay.
I was the only girl in a family of 6, so cooking started very early for me.
Okay.
Okay, so but when I finished school, I came back home from service, and I was like, a job was not forthcoming, and I was like, I can't sit down doing nothing. Yeah, so I said, I have to do something. So I know I have some simple, you know, basic skills about baking, because even while we were in school, I and my friend, then we baked for our birthday cakes, we bake for our friends. So I was like, I love doing this thing. I love creating things. And naturally, I love beautiful things. So I want to create something. I want to go into the food line, but I want to create something that is consumable, but yet beautiful. So that was why I now went into learning. I had to go and learn. Then that was how I started.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful story you just told us there. Thank you for sharing your experiences. But you know, I still kept wondering, what did she read in school? Was it something that had to do with cooking, or, you know? Okay,
not at all.
Food and nutrition?
No, probably. No. I studied biochemistry in school.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, you know, in this Nigeria now, you don't have to do what you learned in school. That is why entrepreneurship is very important. skill learning, acquisition is
Very
very
true.
important, because you can't sit around and then be waiting for a white collar job and then you cannot fend for yourself. It doesn't make sense. I studied biochemistry. When I got out of school, there was no job waiting for me.
You had to do
I had to
something.
do something. So, and then I wanted to do something that I love, something that, because naturally I believe I'm a boring person. So I don't want to do a routine stuff kind of. So I want something that I can do and be happy doing it.
You just had to break the barriers.
You understand? So when I sat down, I said, oh, I have interest in doing this. Then I went for it.
Okay. And it's paying off because we can
Yes.
see it shining.
Yes.
You are shining, so we know it's
Thank
paying.
you so much.
All right. What do you feel are the reasons for baking different types of cakes? Because I believe I've seen a lot of cakes and they don't all come in one color or one shape. There are different types. What are the reasons for these different types?
Okay. You know, we have different tastes. We have different preferences. So that's why it is that way. There are different kind of cakes. In fact, you cannot, they are endless. The list is endless.
Okay.
So a particular customer might come and say, I like vanilla cake.
Okay.
Another person might say, I like red velvet. Some might say, this is the only one I like. Some say, oh, I like all these three combination. I like chocolate cake. Just combine all and put it in my cake. So we have preferences. We have different kind of taste.
Okay.
And so that's why we have a lot different type of cakes. In fact, the list is endless.
Okay.
So people choose what they want and tell you, this is what I want, then you make it for them.
Make it. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I know about cakes, there was a day I needed to get a cake, and then when I heard the price, I was taken aback. I was shocked, you know, and because of that, I looked for how to. I had to try my hands on it. Can you tell me what is the reason for the? It seems there's a rise in the prices of cakes for every time you go to buy a cake. What is the reason?
The major reason is the high cost of materials. Material costs are not static. They keep increasing. So that is why it keeps rising too, because you factor in the production, what it costs you, you do your costing before you put your price.
Okay.
And then it all boils down to what you get from the market, the cost of price, commodities in the market. So it affects. That's why sometimes someone comes in maybe February, asks for a particular size of cake, and then it comes back in April and the price has changed, has increased. And then they'll be wondering, but I bought this same size recently. Why? It is not our fault. It is what we got from the market. So that is the reason.
Okay. So what are the benefits of engaging in this business of yours, that's cake making?
Okay. Cake making is lucrative.
Okay.
And then you can also, it's flexible. Flexible in the sense that you can work at your own pace. You can combine it with other businesses.
Okay.
You can combine it with other things that you do. For example, I'm a singer. I write songs. I produce songs. But I still do my baking.
Okay.
So then you have flexibility of time. You can determine what you want to do, or if you don't want to do it. For example, you can decide to reject an order if it's not comfortable for you, or if it's not convenient for you. Then it creates jobs. Create jobs. I can employ people if I see that my workload is too much. When I get some orders that is overwhelming, I call people and I pay them.
Okay.
Yeah. So it creates jobs. It gives your time flexibility. It's very lucrative. It's something you can start from your kitchen. So you don't have to have a big money, quote unquote, to start it.
To start.
Yes.
So for beginners, what do I need to know, or how should I, if I want to begin this business, cake making? How do I start? Where do I start from? What should I do?
Okay. You have to learn.
Okay.
You have to learn. Because no matter, although technology have made everything very easy, you can go on YouTube, type how to make a cake, and it will give you a lot of options. But you still have to learn, because there's something we call baking right.
Okay.
There are steps you follow in cake baking that you can't just do it like, let me say, wuru wuru to the answer, just like the slang we use when we're in school. You have to follow certain steps, and then this you must learn.
Okay.
There are some things that we call it hands-on, that you start from the beginning, you work on it so that you can learn.
Okay.
There are some things I knew on my own before I went to bake, but I discovered that there are some things too that I did not know until I saw it done practically in my presence. So no matter how much knowledge you have, you still have to learn.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. You will pause there so we could go on a break. When we come back,
Right.
we'll still continue our discussion.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, Abuja is still on, and we are going on a short break. When we come back, this conversation will continue.
Many thanks for joining us on the program Issues on NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
It's only when you have that you would know the number of buildings.
To develop the internal infrastructure, which we call secondary and tertiary.
So there's no reason why we cannot go in there, provide more schools, taking more services.
At the official exchange rate, they can't meet up, except the government subsidizes them.
Join us on the program every Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Issues, dissecting the issues through conversations. Join us then.
Welcome back from that break. It's still Good Morning Abuja, and my guest Esther Olubumi Bello, the baker and designer, is still here in the studio. All right. So, what characteristics should a baker have? Because we know a lot of people complain about artisans. They say if you give people that do handwork this and that, they never keep the time, they never, all of that kind of talk. What characteristics should a baker have?
Okay. A baker must be a person that gives attention to details.
Okay.
Because a cake is a food, and then you have to be careful. So you must give attention to details, because if you don't, food poisoning can occur.
Okay.
Right. You give attention to details. You must be someone that can persevere. Sometimes you can work on a cake for days.
Wow, just one cake?
Yes, because of the designs it entails. There's some design that you have to be very focused. You don't need distractions. So you have to be very patient person, someone that is focused, someone that gives attention to details. And most importantly, you must have passion for this thing. I'm still saying it, you must have passion. Okay. Because sometimes you are tired, but it is that passion that keeps driving you.
Okay.
That no, I need to achieve this thing. I need to do something that will stand out. Because cake baking and decoration is a very competitive market in Nigeria.
Okay.
So you must be passionate about it and be able to give your best.
You've painted a very beautiful picture for us about cake making and baking and designing. I'm wondering, are there challenges?
Definitely, there are challenges.
Okay, highlight them for us.
Okay.
And also tell us the ways that it can be made better.
All right. It's competitive.
Okay.
Yeah. So someone close to you also knows what you're doing, knows how to do what you're doing. And then the only way to stand out is to go extra mile. You have to go extra mile.
Okay.
And that means you have to give in more of your time, more of your attention. Another thing is pricing. Because of the instability in cost of production. Some people will come and underprice you. In fact, they will insult you when you tell them the cost of what they wanted. They will give you a specification. You will tell them the price. They will insult you, insult your gender.
I can imagine.
Oh my goodness, Nigerians are wonderful people. They will insult you. Is it not this thing? Is it not? In fact, my sister can bake. Okay, your sister can bake. Why didn't you give your sister to bake? So you have to, be able to. You take a lot of things. You understand? Because even in business, to survive, you have to be rugged. Okay. Then another thing is the cost of material. These are one of the major challenges we are facing.
Okay.
In fact, I know some people that packed up the business because they could not manage, they could not reconcile what they are spending with the profit. So they are running at loss, so they had to pack up. So, well, I believe it's because of the economy.
Okay.
But if the economy is better, then it will be much more better for us too.
Okay. In very few words, because we're rounding up now,
Okay.
can you give the Nigerian youth a word of advice? Because you studied a different thing, biochemistry.
Yes.
And then you're into baking now.
Yes.
I don't see the relation, but yet you are at it. Advise the Nigerian youth, please.
Okay. I want to advise the Nigerian youth that it's in you, the greatness is in you. And don't wait for white-collar jobs if you can't get any. You can get fine, but not all of us are lucky. So you have to go out there and do something for yourself. And most especially, find your passion. Find your passion and then put all efforts into bringing it to life. Every one of us has something in us that another person doesn't have. So you have to bring it out. When you find your passion, you bring it, you channel your energy into it, and then it brings money into your pocket.
Thank you so much. It's been nice talking to you, Esther Olubumi Bello. Thank you for coming on our program.
You're welcome.
All right.
It's a pleasure coming here.
We've been speaking with Esther Olubumi Bello, and she has said a lot. Your passion, when you have passion for something, keep driving at it, and before you know, it will pay off. Now, Good Morning Abuja will continue after this time out. Please stay with us.